Hello boys and girls, and welcome to Sunday School. We are continuing our big story of God's forever kingdom that's found in the Bible. And today's story is from all the 4 Gospels in the New Testament. The Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Let's start by looking at our poster. What do you see in this picture? Is there anything you wonder about? I wonder why we have a cross in this picture. I wonder who the cross was for. I wonder why there is a torn curtain in this picture. The swirly lines makes me think something very important happened this day. Let's find out more in our story. In our last lesson, we heard that Jesus and the disciples went to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray after they had had their Last Supper together. While they were in the garden, a group of people and soldiers came and arrested Jesus and took him to Pilate. Pilate asked Jesus if he was a king. Jesus answered that he was a king, but his kingdom was not of this world. The people were telling Pilate to crucify Jesus. Pilate listened to the people and ordered Jesus to be whipped and then crucified like a criminal, even though he was completely innocent. A heavy cross was put upon Jesus to carry. The cross was so heavy and Jesus was so weak from the whipping that he fell. Another man was made to carry the cross for him. When they reached the hill of Golgotha, the soldiers stretched out Jesus' arms on the cross, nailed his hands and feet to the cross, and crucified him. The greatest story ever told is the story of God's love for us when Jesus died on the cross. Our memory verse today speaks of this love. Let's read it. This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us. 1 John 3:16. Jesus was the only person without sin. He was perfect and innocent because he was God the Son. Therefore, Jesus was the only one who could take the penalty for our sin. Jesus chose to suffer and die as the perfect sacrifice for all people for all times. He would fulfill his Father's plan because he knew that it was the only way to overcome the power of sin and death in the world. When Jesus died, something amazing happened. God tore the temple curtain in 2 from the top to the bottom. The tearing of the curtain showed that through Jesus' death, our sins would be forgiven and we could now enter the presence of God. The curtain which separated us from God was destroyed. We now had full access to God the Father through Jesus. But the disciples did not understand this yet, and they were very sad and confused to see Jesus dying on the cross. They expected Jesus to live until he became king here on earth. Instead, he had been hung on the cross and was dead. Some of his friends took his body down from the cross, wrapped it in linen, and put his body in a tomb. They must have wondered whether Jesus really was the forever king. Pilate had the tomb sealed with a big rock. He also had soldiers guard the tomb so no one would take Jesus' body. What amazing love Jesus had for us that he laid down his life for us on the cross. Jesus died on a Friday. We call that Good Friday because new life, new hearts, and a new kingdom would begin from his sacrifice. And we will hear more about that in our next lesson. Bye for now. See you next time.